There is a moment in life when everything feels strange, uncertain, and almost like something is calling you forward. Most people ignore this moment, but the truth is, it's the sign that your old life is ending and a new one is beginning. You've felt it, haven't you? That quiet discomfort, that subtle restlessness, that shift inside you that whispers, you can't stay the same anymore. It shows up when familiar things stop feeling right, when routines lose their meaning, when the people around you no longer fit the person you're becoming. Stoic philosophy teaches that these moments aren't accidents or mystical messages, but awakenings. Your mind finally seeing what you were once too afraid to face. And if you're experiencing this now, it doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're evolving. Today, we'll uncover the 7 powerful signs that appear right before your new life begins, and why you must not ignore them. Let's begin this transformation together. Sign 1. You start feeling disconnected from your old life. There comes a point where the life you've been living no longer feels like it fits. The job you once tolerated suddenly feels unbearable. The habits you've kept for years begin to feel empty. Even the people you've known forever start to feel distant, as if you're watching them from behind an invisible glass wall. It's confusing because nothing bad has happened, yet everything inside you feels different. That quiet disconnection, that subtle emotional distance, is one of the clearest signs that your old self is slipping away. And even though it feels uncomfortable, it is one of the most important transitions you will ever experience. Stoic philosophy explains this shift in a grounded, deeply human way. It isn't magic. It isn't the universe punishing you. It's simply nature pulling you forward, reshaping you from the inside out, guiding you toward a version of yourself you're finally strong enough to grow into. Marcus Aurelius said it best. The universe is change. Life is opinion. Everything alive transforms, and resisting that transformation only causes pain. When your values evolve, your old patterns no longer feel aligned, and your mind naturally begins to detach from what no longer matches your inner truth. Psychologically, this disconnection happens when your internal value system begins to shift. The goals you once chased begin to feel meaningless because they were built for an earlier version of you, a version that no longer exists. You're not lazy, you're not broken, you're not unmotivated. Your mind is simply refusing to return to a life that your soul has already outgrown. This is why familiar routines suddenly feel heavy. Why conversations you used to enjoy now feel shallow. Why you look at your old life and think, I don't belong here anymore. That feeling isn't failure, it's evolution. Think about the moments when you used to love going out, being social, staying busy, and now you feel a strange pull toward stillness. Or when you used to tolerate a job that drained you, but now you can barely force yourself through a single day. Or when friendships you once valued now feel misaligned, like they belong to a chapter you've already finished reading. These are not random mood swings. These are indicators that your internal compass has turned in a new direction. The worst thing you can do during this phase is try to drag yourself backward. Many people force themselves to act normal, to keep living the life they've outgrown because it feels safer than stepping into the unknown. But all this does is create inner conflict, a war between who you were and who you're becoming. The Stoics teach that the wise person does not cling to what is fading. They allow change to move through them, trusting that growth is the natural order of life. So here is your Stoic practice for this moment. Grab a notebook and write down 3 things you have quietly outgrown, habits, mindsets, or relationships that no longer feel aligned. Then write 3 new things you are ready to build, skills, values, or directions calling you forward. This is how transformation begins. Not with dramatic changes, but with the courage to admit that your old life no longer reflects who you are. When you feel disconnected from your past, it's because your future has already started. Sign 2, everything feels like it's falling apart, but it's actually reorganizing you. There are seasons in life when it feels like every structure you've built is collapsing at the same time. Your routine stops working. Your relationships feel uncertain. Your plans fall apart no matter how hard you try to hold them together. And you begin asking yourself, why is everything going wrong at once? But what you're experiencing isn't destruction, it's reorganization. It's the dismantling of a life that no longer aligns with who you are becoming. This is one of the most unpredictable yet necessary phases of transformation. The breaking apart stage that clears space for what's meant to grow next. From a Stoic perspective, this moment is not a cosmic punishment, but a forging. When the way becomes difficult, it is shaping you. The Stoics believed that adversity is not an obstacle, but a sculptor, removing what is weak, unnecessary, or outdated so that your stronger self can emerge. Seneca expressed this truth with remarkable clarity. Chaos does not destroy you, it reveals you. It strips away illusions, dependencies, and comfort-driven habits so you can see the world and yourself without distortion. In that clarity, your real path begins. Think of the times life forced your hand. You lost a job you depended on, only to realize it pushed you toward a career path that finally made sense. You went through a breakup that shattered you, yet that pain opened a doorway to personal growth you had been avoiding for years. You experienced friendships dissolving, but suddenly found yourself surrounded by people who genuinely supported your evolution. At the time, it felt like losing everything, but looking back, you can see it was life removing what could not come with you into your next chapter. When things fall apart, it's easy to feel attacked, cursed, or unlucky. But shift the perspective. What if the things collapsing were never stable to begin with? What if the universe, or your own deeper wisdom, is clearing the path ahead because it knows you won't move unless the ground beneath you shakes? This reframing changes everything. Instead of clinging to the ruins, you begin to understand that what remains afterward is exactly what was meant to stay. This is the moment for a powerful Stoic question. One Marcus Aurelius asked himself constantly, is this happening to me or for me? The answer shapes how you survive the storm. If you believe life is attacking you, you'll resist, panic, and suffer twice. Once from the event, and once from your reaction to it. But if you believe life is reorganizing you, you will approach the chaos with curiosity, resilience, and trust. You'll see that every closed door was a door that could no longer lead you forward. So when everything feels like it's falling apart, pause, breathe, and remind yourself this is not the end. It is the blueprint being redrawn. Crisis is not the destruction of your life. It is the demolition of what blocks your growth. Every major transformation begins with a collapse. Not because you are weak, but because you are being rebuilt stronger than before. Sign 3. You become extremely self-aware, almost uncomfortable. One of the most powerful and most unsettling signs that your life is preparing to shift is the sudden surge of self-awareness. You begin noticing things about yourself that you had previously ignored, denied, or justified. Your habits, your emotional triggers, your reactions, your patterns of avoidance. They all start showing up in ways that feel almost too honest to look at directly. It's like someone turned on the lights in a room you've been living in for years, and now you're seeing the dust, the cracks, and the clutter that were always there but never acknowledged. This stage can feel uncomfortable because it forces you to confront the truth. Growth begins with seeing yourself clearly. Stoicism teaches a powerful idea: self-observation without judgment. The Stoics didn't believe in shaming yourself for past behavior. They believed in witnessing it with clarity so you could choose differently in the future. This is where Epictetus's wisdom becomes a guiding light. What disturbs you is not events. but your judgments about events. In other words, your emotional suffering is not created by the outside world, but by the way you interpret your experiences. When you start becoming deeply self-aware, you recognize just how many of these interpretations were shaped by fear, insecurity, assumptions, or old wounds. This phase often feels raw and vulnerable because you're seeing yourself unfiltered for the first time. You begin to notice moments when you overreacted, not because the situation was extreme, but because you were emotionally unprepared. You notice how often you people-please to avoid conflict, or how quickly you shut down emotionally to avoid being hurt. You see the childish reactions you once justified, the patterns you repeated even when they led you to the same pain, the habits you clung to even when they drained your potential. It can feel embarrassing, even painful, to realize how much of your life was driven by unconscious behaviors. But this discomfort is not a punishment. It's a breakthrough. It means your internal world is shifting from unconscious autopilot to conscious awareness. You're no longer reacting blindly. You're beginning to observe yourself in real time. This change is profound. It is the moment you stop living as a product of your past and start living as the author of your future. Growth doesn't begin with inspiration. It begins with honesty, the kind that stings before it heals. Think about a moment when you caught yourself reacting immaturely, saying something defensive or shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. Instead of brushing it off, you felt it deeply. You recognized it. That recognition is a sign your mind is evolving. Or consider when you realized you were giving too much to people who gave little in return. In the past, you might have ignored this pattern. Now, it feels unavoidable, even painful, to keep pretending you don't notice. This is why your nightly Stoic practice is so powerful. Take 3 minutes before bed and write the sentence, "Today, I saw myself clearly when." Let yourself witness your behavior with honesty and neutrality. Over time, patterns will emerge, and awareness will naturally lead to correction. Remember this truth. Clarity is painful before it's liberating. You're not breaking down, you are waking up. And once you start seeing yourself clearly, you cannot return to who you used to be. Sign 4. Old relationships fade, while new alignments begin to appear. One of the most emotional and confusing parts of personal transformation is watching certain relationships quietly fade while new ones begin to form. It can feel surreal. People you've known for years suddenly don't feel close anymore. Conversations feel forced, and time spent together drains rather than energizes you. At the same time, new people begin entering your life who feel strangely familiar, aligned, or supportive, almost as if they were waiting for you to evolve into the person you're becoming. Many people mistake this shift as the universe sending new people, but the truth is more grounded and far more powerful. Your energy, your values, and your behavior have changed, and your relationships are rearranging themselves around that change. Marcus Aurelius said something deeply relevant here. We become what we give our attention to. As your attention shifts toward growth, peace, discipline, or purpose, you naturally drift away from people who do not share or support those priorities. You don't even have to announce your change. Your actions reveal it. The people who thrive on chaos will gradually disappear when you no longer participate in their drama. The ones who depend on your lack of boundaries will step back the moment you finally set one. And the individuals who resonate with your new values will feel drawn to you effortlessly, without you having to chase or convince anyone. This phenomenon isn't mystical. It is psychological and behavioral. When your internal world changes, your external world reorganizes to match it. Your conversations shift, your emotional availability shifts, your tolerance for negativity decreases, your desire for peace increases. Relationships operate like ecosystems. When one part of the system evolves, the rest must adapt or exit. This is why people you once felt close to now feel distant, and why new people suddenly feel aligned. It's not random, it's resonance. Think about a time when you decided to prioritize your peace. Suddenly, the people who thrived on gossip, conflict, or emotional chaos seem to disappear from your daily life, not because they vanished, but because you stopped feeding the dynamic. Or, consider when you committed to being more disciplined, waking earlier, focusing on health, working on goals. Without any argument or big conversation, the irresponsible people simply drifted away because your lifestyle no longer matched theirs. Conversely, you might have noticed new people showing up, a co-worker who supports your growth, a friend who shares your mindset, someone who encourages your evolution. These are not coincidences. These are alignments. The greatest mistake you can make during this phase is clinging to relationships that clearly no longer fit. Stoic philosophy teaches that everything in life is in motion. People change, paths diverge, and trying to force connection where alignment no longer exists only creates suffering. The mature response is acceptance. You honor what that relationship once meant, but you don't imprison yourself inside a past version of your life. You allow the natural movement of connection and disconnection to unfold without resentment or fear. Here is your Stoic practice for this stage. Write 2 lists. List 1, people who drain me. List 2, people who strengthen me. Be honest with yourself. You don't need to confront anyone or make dramatic announcements. Just acknowledge where your energy naturally flows. Then choose, quietly, intentionally, to spend more time with the people on list 2. This alone can transform your life. Remember, when old relationships fade, it's not abandonment. It is alignment. It means you're stepping into a chapter where only the people meant for your growth will remain. Sign 5. You feel an inner pull towards solitude. There comes a moment in your transformation when the noise of the world becomes too distracting, too chaotic, too misaligned with the quiet truth forming inside you. Suddenly, you don't crave the same social stimulation you once enjoyed. The parties, the small talk, the constant activity, they no longer feel exciting. In fact, they feel draining. Instead, you begin craving long drives alone, quiet evenings, slow mornings, or simply the stillness of your own room. You feel a pull not toward isolation, but towards solitude, the kind that allows you to finally hear your own thoughts without interruption. This shift can confuse the people around you, but it is one of the clearest signs that you are preparing to grow into a new version of yourself. The Stoics saw solitude not as withdrawal from life, but as a necessary stage for reordering the mind. Stoic philosophy teaches that you cannot change your inner world if you never give it room to breathe. Seneca captured this truth perfectly when he wrote, "Only in solitude can the soul see itself clearly." When you step away from constant stimulation, you begin to witness your fears, your desires, your motivations, and your contradictions with new clarity. Without the expectations of others shaping your behavior or the noise of the environment shaping your thoughts, your true identity rises to the surface. Psychologically, this pull towards solitude happens because your mind is preparing for a transition. Before a major shift, your inner world needs silence to reorganize, to let go of old beliefs, integrate new insights, and strengthen the parts of you that are ready to emerge. Think of it like the stillness before a storm or the quiet focus before an athlete's breakthrough performance. Solitude gives your brain the space to recalibrate, to update its systems, to quiet the past, and to prepare for what's next. Without this phase, growth becomes chaotic rather than purposeful. You've probably experienced moments like this already. Days when you'd rather take a walk alone than sit in a crowded room. Weekends where you choose rest, reflection, or journaling instead of socializing. times when conversations feel too shallow and silence feels deeply comforting. This doesn't mean you're becoming antisocial. It doesn't mean you're losing interest in people. It simply means your soul needs a quieter environment to align with the version of you that is forming beneath the surface. The mistake many people make is interpreting this pull toward solitude as loneliness or emotional withdrawal. But solitude is not loneliness. Solitude is recalibration. Loneliness means you crave connection and lack it. Solitude means you need clarity more than company. And when you honor that need, you accelerate your transformation rather than resisting it. In solitude, you reconnect with your values, you regain your emotional balance, you strengthen your intuition, and you begin to trust your own inner guidance again. To harness this stage intentionally, practice what the Stoics might call a silent hour each day. Spend one uninterrupted hour without noise, without screens, without external stimulation. Sit, walk, write, breathe, anything that allows you to be fully present with yourself. At first, it may feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. But over time, that hour becomes a sanctuary, a place where your mind settles and your inner wisdom becomes audible. Remember, the pull towards solitude is not a sign that you are disconnecting from the world. It is a sign that you are reconnecting with yourself. And every great transformation begins with a moment of silence. Sign 6. Your old desires die, and new values start emerging. There comes a moment in your evolution when you realize the things you once chased no longer excite you. The desire to impress people, to be seen, to win approval, to accumulate status or quick rewards, it begins to fade. Not because you've lost ambition, but because your ambition has matured. The ego-driven hunger for recognition becomes strangely quiet, and in its place rises something steadier, deeper, and far more honest. This shift is subtle at first, but unmistakable once it begins. It is the sign that your identity is moving into a new chapter. Stoicism explains this transformation perfectly through one simple truth. Virtue is greater than validation. A Stoic doesn't live to be admired. They live to be aligned. They choose integrity over image, discipline over comfort, purpose over applause. And when your old desires start falling away, it means you're beginning to value the same things. You want peace more than noise. You want meaning more than approval. You want a life that feels coherent on the inside, not just impressive on the outside. Think about how your desires have already shifted. Maybe you once wanted attention, eyes on you, constant affirmation, the feeling of being noticed. But now you crave something different. Respect. Not loud, superficial recognition, but quiet respect earned through consistency and character. Or maybe you used to chase small, immediate victories. The quick dopamine hits that felt good for a moment, but changed nothing in the long run. Today, you want something larger. Long-term stability, mastery, goals that take months or years to build. This shift isn't about losing your drive. It's about upgrading what you consider worth pursuing. Psychologically, this is a sign of emotional maturity. When your values rise, your desires rise with them. You begin wanting what strengthens you, not what entertains your insecurities. You stop chasing the life your ego wanted and start moving toward the life your soul needs. And once you feel this shift, you cannot unfeel it. The old desires simply don't pull you anymore. They feel too small for who you're becoming. This is the transition from being ego-driven to being purpose-driven. And it marks the moment your new life truly begins to take shape. Sign 7. You begin taking responsibility for everything. No more blaming, no more victim mindset. One of the most powerful and unmistakable signs that your new life is about to begin is the moment you stop blaming anyone or anything for where you are. Something shifts inside you. You no longer point fingers at circumstances, childhood, co-workers, partners. or luck. The sentence, "It's their fault," slowly dissolves, and a new one takes its place. My part in this shift is not loud or dramatic. It's quiet, internal, and deeply empowering. It marks the moment you stop living as someone life happens to and start living as someone life responds to you. You begin realizing a truth that Stoics have taught for centuries. Everything you do today builds the version of yourself who will exist 6 months from now. Your discipline today becomes your stability later. Your choices today become your opportunities later. Your reactions today become your character later. The Stoics called this the ultimate form of control. Not control over the world, but control over how you meet the world. It's the recognition that while you cannot command outcomes, you can always command your response. Marcus Aurelius captured this mindset with a simple instruction: get active, get disciplined, get moving. No waiting for permission, no hoping someone will rescue you, no expecting the world to change before you do. When responsibility becomes your default, excuses feel foreign, complaints feel pointless, and blaming others feels like giving away your power. You may have already noticed small examples of this shift. Instead of saying, "My job drains me," you ask, "What steps can I take to change my career?" Instead of saying, "People always disrespect me," you ask, "Where have I allowed weak boundaries?" Instead of saying, "I can't help it," you ask, "What can I do right now, even if it's small?" This mindset doesn't just change your habits, it changes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as a passenger and begin stepping into the role of the driver. This isn't pressure, it's liberation. When you take responsibility, life stops feeling random. You stop waiting for signs and start creating them. You stop fearing the future and start shaping it. Responsibility is the moment you finally choose yourself, fully, consciously, unapologetically. Here's your Stoic exercise. Write down 3 areas of your life where you commit to taking full responsibility over the next 30 days. It could be your health, your mindset, your finances, your boundaries, your habits, your goals. Choose the areas where you've avoided ownership. Then write 1 action you will take for each. Because in the end, responsibility is rebirth. When you stop blaming, you stop shrinking. When you take ownership, you begin becoming the person your new life requires, and that is the moment everything starts to change. You've just walked through the 7 signs that appear right before a new life begins. The quiet disconnection from your old world, the chaos that reshapes you, the rise of deep self-awareness, the shift in relationships, the purposeful pull toward solitude, the transformation of your values, and the moment you finally take full responsibility for your path. If you're experiencing these signs, your life isn't falling apart. It's being reborn. This is your invitation to step into who you were always meant to become. Before you leave, choose 1 sign that resonated deeply with you and write down a single action you'll take this week to align with your new chapter. Remember, Stoicism teaches that you don't need signals from the universe. You need the clarity and courage to listen to yourself. Thank you for staying until the end. You are part of a strong, growing Stoic community, and your presence here matters. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring the art of inner rebuilding and disciplined transformation.